What's up you guys, my name is Noah and I am making this video about something which has been really doing my head in an internal thing. So I'm making a video to verbalise it, and hopefully some of you will learn from it and some of you will already know about it and be angry about it, and it's just about raising awareness for things that are a little bit shitty, and hopefully you guys can join together in anger with me and understand why it makes me so angry, this topic. Just as a disclaimer, if I mention the word cis or cisgender in this video, it means anyone who identifies with the gender they were assigned at birth. So anyone who doesn't fit into the category of trans or transgender. So cis is the polar opposite of transgender. It's when someone who isn't trans, really, to put it in the simplest of terms. So this video, as you've probably guessed from the title, is about why we need to stop giving trans roles to cis actors, cis being people who aren't trans. First and foremost, visibility. Give trans talent a shot, give them a go, give them a chance. There are so many talented trans actors out there. Laverne Cox is not the only trans actor in the whole wide world. So as you all probably know, there's been a rising number of films being made about trans people, which is really cool. That's insanely good. That's really good. I'm all for that. But unfortunately, the directors keep casting cis people to play the roles of trans people, which doesn't really add up, because you wouldn't get an adult playing the role of a child or vice versa. So it's super infuriating. Now, don't get me wrong, I really do appreciate the sentiment of these directors, and it's really cool that they're making films about trans people, and it's really good that we're getting trans people's stories out into the open, because that's what we all want at the end of the day. But as soon as a director casts a cis person to play the role of a trans person, it instantly becomes totally uncool, and I'm not behind it anymore, because it is just not respectful, it's not right to do. Now, I don't doubt that Jared Leto didn't give a moving performance in Dallas Buyers Club, or Eddie Redmayne didn't take the part well of a character in The Danish Girl, because they did. But there are people who could have played the part better, and those people are actual trans women. My second issue with this, apart from just visibility of trans actors in general, is the stigmatisation and the furthering of the stigmatisation when it comes to casting cis people in trans roles, because it sort of gives people the impression that trans women are not women, they are just cis men in a dress and in makeup, and the same goes for trans men, that trans men are not men, they're just girls with short hair and a snapback on. The film About Ray is a film that I think was meant to be released in 2015, or it has been released, I'm not sure, but it's another case of a cis actor being cast in a trans role. So a cis girl was being cast to play the role of a trans boy, and the director tried to defend her decision by stating, and I quote, "She's just a girl who's being herself and is chasing the opportunity to start hormone treatment. So to actually use a trans boy was not an option, because this isn't what my story is about." By that, she pretty much means my movie about a trans boy isn't actually about a trans boy, because trans boys are just girls, so I can use a girl to play that role. Why are you even making a movie about trans people in the first place if you're not willing to represent us correctly and to respect us enough to put a trans person in that role? And I'd also just like to put this out there for the director, if ever she was to watch this video, and just remind you that if ever a girl is just being herself and chasing the opportunity to start hormones, that is only ever the case if it's a trans girl, if it's a trans woman. In any other case, it's wrong. The only time there's a girl chasing the opportunity to start hormones is when they are a trans girl. A trans boy can't be a girl chasing the opportunity to start hormones, because that would be a boy chasing the opportunity, because they're a boy, they're a trans boy. Regardless of whether they're on hormones or they've had any surgery, they can be pre-everything, they are still that gender. Overall, this is an issue that affects and upsets and infuriates me, as well as 99% of the trans community, and it can be really quite damaging. So if you're a director and you want to write a film about trans people, I'm behind you completely, but please cast trans people for that role. And if there are no trans people to cast, don't do the film. There are thousands of other films out there that you are entitled to make and to write and to cast whoever you want for the roles, but please leave trans roles to actual trans people. If anyone's still here at the end of the video and is still watching and still interested, I appreciate it. I hope some of you may have learnt something from this video. If not, sorry for babbling on for, I don't know, 5 minutes. Cool.